So I think Reddit actually made me sick. I've been spending the last couple of days just trying to not sound like a dying frog when I record a voiceover, but it's like the commenters downvoted my immune system or something because they just hate me. But now it's been 2 days without me reading Reddit, and my mental health is the best it's ever been. So let's ruin it again. And our first story is: Am I the asshole for throwing away my husband's Xbox after he refused to look for our lost dog? This is going to be a little long. Please try to bear with me and understand my situation. Thank you. For starters, I am a nurse, 35F, and I have been extremely busy these past 3 months. Even writing this post is a privilege, and I am having to do this in bits and pieces. I also gave birth to my daughter 6 months ago. I have an 8-year-old son as well. When I'm not working, I take care of my children. In January of 2019, my son suddenly developed this strong desire to have a dog. He begged and begged for a puppy from my husband, 35M. I protested against that because I had just found out that I was pregnant. Jesus. My husband said that we should let our son have a puppy to teach him some responsibility and that he would have some practice to take care of his baby sibling. It's only been 1 minute, Reddit, and you already have a parent who thinks their 8-year-old has enough responsibility to take care of a puppy. I can't even take care of a puppy. Do you know how much work those things are? And you want an 8-year-old? Oh no. Today's gonna be great. He had also promised that he would help our son take care of the dog. I was absolutely unconvinced, but I had to give in eventually because my husband had already agreed and I didn't want to cause further fights. 5 days ago, my son had accidentally left the back door of our house open and the dog ran away. These 5 days were also some of the busiest, most grueling days of my work, and I had to take up night shifts because a colleague had fallen sick. Our son first went to my husband for help. He refused to help him and said that it was his, my son's, responsibility to care for, and he has to do something about it himself. My husband has the privilege of working from home. He works at a law firm. He works for maybe 3 or 4 hours a day and plays Xbox the entire time, and sometimes gets up to check on our daughter. He literally has no pressure. 5 days ago, when our son told me in tears that dad won't look for Tippy, I talked to my husband, who said that it would teach our son some responsibility to take care of things in the future, which I found very callous since a dog is a living, sentient being and not a thing. He was playing Xbox when I was talking to him as well. He also said he won't look for the dog or anything. Yesterday, after coming home at night, the first thing I did was unplug the Xbox console and controller and throw it in the trash. This morning, before going to work, my husband threw a fit when he couldn't find his Xbox in the living room. I told him that I'd thrown it away because he was so addicted to it that he couldn't even get up and help our distressed son. When I came back from work, he told me he had found his Xbox in the trash since the garbage truck hadn't arrived yet. Now, he's been incredibly snarky, giving me the cold shoulder, and he's angry because his controller isn't working. He also hasn't taken any measures to look for our dog, and our mutual best friend called and said my reaction was incredibly childish. Now I'm spending my free day calling every neighbor of ours, making internet posters, and contacting animal shelters and animal control to see if Tippy had turned up anywhere, and consoling my heartbroken son. Am I the asshole? Edit. My husband is a lawyer. A lawyer's job depends on how many clients he has. My husband currently has almost no clients due to obvious reasons. He told me this himself, so his workload is significantly less. This is for all the people who are saying I'm downplaying his work. So the obvious reason is probably because of COVID, since this was made in April of 2020. But your husband sounds like more of a child than your 8-year-old son is. I mean, he doesn't care to help look for his dog that he bought him, that he wanted to have to teach him responsibility, knowing that an 8-year-old child is not responsible in the slightest. What did he expect would happen, bro? I just hope in the update they actually find the dog, or else I might crash out. And this time, instead of getting physically sick, I might get like a mental illness from how stupid this husband is. Oh, wait, before that, I want to read this comment because it's so funny. Wow, your husband expected an 8-year-old to go look through town for the lost dog by himself because he wanted to play games instead? Well, what a shitty husband and father he is. Your kids won't forget it, that's for sure. Not the asshole. I would have saved the Xbox and thrown out the husband. Update. First of all, thank you everyone for your immensely kind and considerate responses. I am thankful to each and every one of you for giving me such beautiful and encouraging messages. These kept me going, no joke. Tippy was found 2 miles away from our house. Let's go! Yes! A day after I posted ads and posters on several platforms and websites. A kind lady living alone had found him near her street, starving and exhausted. She responded to my calls for help on Facebook, and I am utterly thankful for her. We need more people like her in this world. My son and Tippy are both ecstatic to be reunited. He takes care of him just like he did before, only now I have some time on my hands to help him as well. However, my son is still wary of his father, and he'll likely remain so for a long time. Now he doesn't ask him for help at all. As for my husband, he now treats Tippy as if he doesn't exist. He went and bought a new Xbox controller right after Tippy was brought back, and now demands that I pay him for damaging his property. I am willing to pay because I realized my impulsive response was not the best decision, and nor was it the best way to deal with my situation. My approach towards my husband's Xbox and my husband's approach towards Tippy were both horrible and irrational. Many of you mentioned that my husband may have been neglecting our daughter. It's unfortunate that you were right. I started to notice some tender area and red skid around my daughter's diaper around 2 weeks ago. She was uncomfortable, irritable, and put up a fuss every time I tried to change it. Turns out she was suffering from a diaper rash. Diaper rashes can occur for a variety of reasons, none of which were applying to my daughter. She wasn't on antibiotics, she had soft cotton clothes, her bowel movements were normal, and we weren't using any new products on her. This left only one option. Her diapers weren't being changed frequently. I was away from home for 5 days. I asked my husband how many times he had changed her diapers. A baby her age needs her diapers changed at least once every 3 hours. My husband outright said he was changing them every 7 hours or so for those 5 days because he didn't think that they needed to be changed as much as before because she was now 6 months old. He had raised a son with me before. That's a ridiculous excuse. The diaper rash is now gone, but I am now scared to ever leave my baby with him when I go to work. I will have to sit down and reconsider everything and have a long talk with him soon. It's inevitable. He still plays Xbox just like he used to before. I will never forget how a bunch of strangers jumped to help me find our dog. Thank you, you lovely people. So this is a good update. It's hard to say because yes, you found your dog and that's amazing. But now we know that your husband is basically just an abusive asshole towards not only your children, but your dog, and maybe even towards you as well, and you might just not realize it yet. Because look, yes, you should not throw away someone's Xbox, but he's a grown adult. He's 35 and he's addicted to video games. He needed someone to like give him a reality check. And the reality check didn't wake him up to reality. So I'm not sure what the solution is there. Maybe counseling, but not I'm not a marriage counselor. I don't know what to tell you about your marriage. You're going to have to figure it out yourself. But good luck. And let's get right into the next story. Story 2. Overheard roommates 20 to 24M talking about how slutty I 20F dress. I live with 3 boys and 1 other girl. Up until this point, we were all pretty friendly. Yesterday, I overheard 3 guys talking downstairs. I don't think they knew I was home. They were talking about how slutty I dress and was laughing. One of them said I must be so desperate to hook up with one of them, and they were making jokes about which one of them it is. I'm so upset. I generally wear shorts and a tank top around the house just because they're comfortable. Sometimes when it's hot, I'll wear crop tops. I don't purposely dress sexy. Just picture your standard H&M or Forever 21 outfit. I've seen the guys walking around downstairs in boxers or with their shirts off. It wasn't a big deal to me, so I just assumed we were all cool. Why is it okay for them to be in their underwear, but not for me to wear my everyday clothes? Additionally, one of them has a girlfriend who dresses the exact same, if not more revealing than me. Very low cut shirts, short shorts, etc. It's totally fine that she dresses this way, but I don't get why she's fine, but I'm a slut. And here's the kicker. I'm in a long distance relationship with my girlfriend because I'm gay as fuck. What do I do? I don't feel like I'm in the wrong, but I am so uncomfortable with the idea of being around them, knowing that they're thinking about how much of a slut I am and how desperate I'm trying to sexually attract them, apparently. Commenter 1. I think the next time you see one of them in boxers or if they're shirtless, you should say, dude, you're dressing pretty slutty today. That's so funny, you must be so desperate to hook up with someone in this house. Who is it? Then when they look at you like you grew 2 heads, laugh, inform them that they're gross, but you don't give a fuck because you wouldn't sleep with spineless morons even if you were into men. I've let other people give actual good advice, but a lot of what's on here so far seem to be along the lines of boys will be boys, with the helpful side order of, well, maybe you do dress slutty. It's pretty sad, but it's plumb normal for men to objectify and demean women who are meant to be their friends. I wouldn't be friends with people who talk about me this way. He responded and said, oh my god, that's hilarious. The look on their faces would be priceless. I just walk into the room, sigh, and go, look, dude, I know you're super desperate to sleep with me, but it's not gonna happen, so you can stop dressing like a slut now. Yeah, I guess I'm just a little sad because I kinda like these guys. It hurts to hear from people who I thought were my friends, but whatever. If anything, my girlfriend got a kick out of it. I don't really know because I've never really lived with anyone that wasn't in my family before, but it kind of sounds like they're jealous. Like, oh, maybe they're just mad ugly and they think you're attractive, but like, you're gay, so like, you wouldn't want to sleep with them. You know what I mean? But even if you did, them saying that wouldn't make you magically want to sleep with them. They're not very smart people, but I guess stereotypically, 20 to 25-year-olds aren't very smart people. Now, I'm not saying I'm a smart person, though, and I've been saying the word smart a lot, but I'm an idiot as well, so take it with a grain of salt. Update. Firstly, I just wanted to thank you guys for being so sweet in the last thread. I was so stressed out and you guys made me laugh. Before I posted, I was basically set on hiding awkwardly in my room or maybe dressing more conservatively when I left my room. After I saw all your responses, I was filled with a feminist, body positive rage. These boys were not going to get away with slut shaming me. Of the three guys, I'm closest with Tom, boy 1 out of 3, so I decided to talk to him individually. I heard him coming up the stairs and I just took a deep breath and walked out of my room, smiled, and asked if I could talk to him for a minute. He came into my room and we were just making small talk. I shut the door, summoned all of my assertiveness, and said, "So, I actually have something weird to talk to you about. I heard you guys talking about me the other day. I'd like to say that I threw down with this boy, told him that sexism is not cool or funny, and I wouldn't put up with it, and demanded that he apologize. But instead, I cried. A lot. I straight up just broke down. I couldn't even speak. Tom looked absolutely devastated. He immediately apologized, said I wasn't supposed to hear any of that, but I wasn't really paying attention because I was just trying to get a grip on myself. There's nothing more awkward than crying in front of someone when you're not on that level yet. Anyways, I asked him if that was what he really thought of me. He said no, and that they were just being dumb, and that's when Sam, boy 2 out of 3, brought it up that he was really surprised and knew it was wrong, but he didn't call him out on it. He said he should have, and he knew he should have, but he didn't want to make a big deal out of it because Sam and Bob, boy 3 out of 3, were just joking around, even though they were being mean. He said it was shitty of him not to call them out, and that by not saying anything and acting like it was funny, he allowed it to happen. He said that he has no excuse and that he's sorry. This checks out. From what I've heard, it was mainly Sam and Bob saying the bad stuff. I said I knew they were just joking around, but it made me feel horrible to be talked about that way, and that the sexism really slapped me in the face. He agreed and said it was horrible. He also said something like, not that it's an excuse, but you're really pretty, and I think that's why we're talking about you that way. None of us actually believed what we were saying, but I think it was just wishful thinking, and we were idiots about it. So for all of you guys that suggested that they were attracted to me, bingo. I laughed and told Tom that I had a girlfriend. He said that was totally cool, and then looked embarrassed and said they must have looked like complete idiots bragging about how much I wanted to sleep with them. I agreed. Tom asked if there was anything he could do to make up for it. I told him not to tell the other guys anything because I don't really want to talk about it anymore, but if they ever start talking about another person like that, even if it's not me, speak up. He promised he would and apologized about 9 million more times after and left. I heard him go into his room and then immediately leave and go out the front door. I didn't think much of it and put my headphones on and played Trackmania for a while. Later that day, I opened my door and there was a big cardboard box right outside my door. My first thought was that I'd ordered something from Amazon and forgot about it, but it looked like a used box that someone had repurposed and taped shut. I dragged it into my room and opened it. Guys, it was a bouquet of flowers and a cake with the word sorry written on it. If you're thinking that I cried for a second time in 3 hours, well, you're right. Anyways, I'm sorry I didn't throw down with them like so many of you wanted. Unfortunately, I am but a tiny cream puff. I'm working on it a lot and being more assertive, but in this scenario, I handled it as best as I could. Confronting Tom about it was actually super scary, but I'm proud of myself for bringing it up at all. I accepted Tom's apology. He seemed genuine, and this does seem like a one-off shitty behavior situation. He's usually a pretty stand-up guy. The other guys, I don't know. To be honest, I wasn't super sold on them to start with, so I feel like I'll just continue to not pursue a friendship with them, and I'll continue to dress however I want. Lastly, serious thanks to all of you for your responses. I was hesitant to post this on Reddit because Reddit can sometimes be not so nice about women's issues, but y'all are cool. Commenter 1. You know what's the best way to get a girl to fall for you? Talk shit about her behind her back, make her uncomfortable in her own home, and call her a slut. 60% of the time, it works every time. I like how it was just kind of obvious that the boys were attracted to her, and I'm sure she is really beautiful. You know, I'm not going to be one to comment on this situation any farther, but I'm glad that you figured it out with Tom. He does seem like a genuinely good person for buying you those flowers and that cake. But I am kind of jealous because I kind of want some cake. Like, where's my cake that says, "Congratulations, Reddit Doggo, you survived the commenter cold that Reddit gave you because they downvoted your immune system, you know? Like, what's up with that? Where's my cake?" Nah, I'm just kidding. In all seriousness, though, I'm glad she worked it out with Tom, and she should definitely avoid those other guys because they're pieces of shit. Story 3. My 23F, mother, 54F, didn't realize how much I helped out around the house until I moved out, and now she wants me back. I have a big family. I grew up living with 2 younger brothers, 1 younger sister, grandparents, and my mom and dad. I am significantly the oldest kid in my family, 8 years older than John, my brother, the second oldest in the house. My parents never assigned chores to any of us growing up, but I always helped out around the house a lot. I've just always been very clean and organized, and I never minded it. I was always cleaning, vacuuming, doing dishes, helping cook, doing the family's laundry, etc. Nobody forced this role on me, but nobody really appreciated it or thanked me either. Again, I didn't really mind. I was just being a dutiful daughter slash responsible person. I lived at home through college. I grew up in my college town, so I just commuted. A few months ago, however, I had decided that I had saved enough money and got an apartment with some of my college friends. Apparently, since I have moved out, our family situation has become chaotic and my mom feels overwhelmed. No one helps her at all with any chores. She basically told me that she had no idea how much I was helping out around the house until I moved out. Because I was always doing stuff without being asked, she didn't really know who was keeping everything clean and just assumed it was a joint effort from the whole family. Now that nobody is around to silently look after everyone, everything is a mess. Everything in my home has developed a string of messy bad habits because somebody else was taking care of them all the time. She said it's my responsibility that no one in the family has learned to properly take care of themselves growing up and wants me to move back home. I don't know if I should do it. I guess growing up, especially with my younger siblings, I was just always the default babysitter. I was just used to taking care of them, so even when they got to the age where they were old enough to take care of themselves, I was too far in the habit. I don't know how me moving back home will totally fix that, though, but I do feel a little responsible. I think this one comment sums up my whole thought process. Commenter, normal response. Oh my god, dear, I had no idea you did everything around the house here. How awful. I should have noticed and then set up a roster so that we could all do our share. I'm so sorry. You really shouldn't have done all that by yourself. You have spoiled us, sweetheart. You really are too kind. Here's a look about standing up for yourself and a big thank you present. Your mom. We didn't know you did all that work. We will not thank you. We will blame you. We will not change. Now come back and be our slave. You should not feel responsible at all for your siblings or your family anymore. It's partially on them because they don't know how to take care of themselves. I say partially because you were kind of doing it all for them and then you kind of stopped. So maybe they just don't know how to. But your mom should definitely be stepping up here. And if she can't step up to the point that you were, to get some help from like literally your 15-year-old brother. At 15, you should be able to take care of yourself at least to a certain degree, where you can help out with some basic household chores. At least at 15, I was definitely able to do that. And you should be able to do that because it's an important life skill that you'll need for when you do inevitably move out and live on your own. Unless maybe they're all thinking they're just going to live in their family home forever. Who knows? Anyways, on to the update. Update. I was kind of surprised by how much everyone's responses to my mother were a resounding no. It made me feel silly for even considering it. There was no real benefit to keep enabling my mom and move back home. Well, Reddit, I'm sad to say that turning my mom down was the first time I had ever really stood up to her, and it did not go well. She instantly started guilt tripping me, how she had raised me, how family was everything, how I was being selfish and abandoning her. When that didn't work, her insults turned more aggressive. She said I owed her money, the money it cost to raise me, put me through college. My parents paid partial tuition. The accumulation of rent for letting me live at home during college. At no point have we ever discussed this, etc. Again, she pressed that I was taking advantage of the family by not moving back home and helping out. I don't want to get into much details because I'm still very, very sad about how this has turned out, but my mom hasn't responded to my calls in weeks. She's antagonized me against the whole family, telling my siblings that I did something ambiguously terrible and abandoned my family because of it. I had a phone conversation with my sister Rachel, who said something along the lines of, Mom said you did something really mean to her. She won't tell us what, but she said that's why she made you move out. I've never really been close to my siblings, but I'm kind of taken aback how little anyone seems to care that I'm gone. Recently, my mom put up a picture on Facebook of the whole family with me absent, captioned, the only people in my life I'll ever need. I'm trying to focus on my work and my friends to get through this, but I'm in a very sad place right now. Commenter, she's going through an extinction burst, slipping up the behaviors that have worked in the past in order to make you bend to her will. Stay strong. When you doubt yourself, just remember that your mother doesn't care about you. She cares about what you can do for her. If she remotely cared about you, she wouldn't be acting this way at all. OP says, thank you for this perspective. I think this makes a lot of sense. I'm no longer going to reinforce her behavior and I'm going to stop contacting her. I get the feeling that she likes that I am struggling to reach out to her and wants to make me suffer. It's sad that parents can switch up on their kids like this. I mean, I know there's kind of a joke going around where you switch up on your day ones after like getting rich or something, but your parent is literally switching up on their kid right now just because she what doesn't do chores for you anymore and doesn't live with you anymore because your kid finally grew up and became independent. Now it's the end of your life. Like, God forbid your kid doesn't take care of you anymore now that she's 23 and decided to move on. But hey, if you really want someone to take care of you that badly, there's always like a retirement home, you know? I know that's where you'll be going the second you can't take care of yourself anymore because your daughter is not gonna want to take care of you, okay? She is not gonna do it for you. I hope not, anyways. If you continue to act like this, if you fix your behavior, then yeah, sure. Maybe your daughter will want to come back into your life. But with the way things are going, this is just insanely petty and honestly crazy. I don't know if I expected like a warm hug or a pat on the shoulder saying, "Good job, you're not sick anymore" from Reddit, but they definitely did not give me that. Anyways, that's gonna be all for the video. Hope you all enjoyed. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.